Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie West. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan. I want to share a conversation I had with a child recently, and when I say child, I'm talking about a 10-year-old. So I'm able to do a lot of therapy with kids as young as 5, all the way through kind of preteen, teenagers, young adults, and I get to run the gamut, which is so cool. And I was also able to be a teacher for the broad side of a decade. And so I've been able to watch child development, for a long span in my career. And I love watching kids in real time kind of learn the world around them and explore. And one of the conversations I had with a client several weeks ago really just emphasizes to me, sometimes we have so many missed opportunities of equipping kids to walk well. And so I want to share a little bit about what that looks like. And the caveat is we're never going to get it right all of the time. I don't ever want to come across as arrogant and you just do this or you just do this and kids will be great. Childhood is complex. Kids are complex. What I'm offering here is a strategy, something to kind of pause and consider to better equip your child going forward. And so I had a client in here, 10-year-old, and I had given them a sucker. And so they're sucking on the sucker. And as we're doing some art therapy, their face just kind of twists a little bit and kind of, whether it was distress or whether it was, disgust. So I said to the client, I said, you look like something's going on over there. Are you willing to tell me about that? And they said, I'd like to be done with this sucker. And I said, oh, tell me about that. Because it was, just a normal kind of like blue raspberry lollipop or something. And the client said, it tastes off. Something, it tastes almost like chemicals, like it tastes like the machine it was made on. It just tastes off. And I said, of course, throw it away. And then the client said, I said to the client, I said, you look distressed about that. Why? And he said, I didn't want you to think I was being disrespectful. And I said, okay, tell me more about that. And he said, sometimes if I were to just throw something away, it looks like I'm ungrateful and I'm being disrespectful. And I said to him, were you trying to be disrespectful when you explained that you didn't like the sucker? He said, no. I said, okay, let's talk about that a minute. You had something that you were trying and you didn't like it. And then you asked if it was okay to throw it away. And you worried that I might be upset about it. But you weren't trying to be disrespectful. You were just letting me know that it wasn't something that you enjoyed. Now, the fear running for him is that he's not allowed to have preferences, that he's not allowed to have likes and dislikes, and he might even have to put a sucker in his mouth that tastes like chemicals, and out of politeness to me, continue to eat it, even though it was a little bit of a gross experience for him. And so not only did I say, no, throw it away, buddy, that's okay. When he was asking me, like, are you sure, like, it's okay, I'm not being disrespectful? I said to him, I said, well, thank you for letting me know that was a concern for you. What you put in your body does matter. It matters if it's not okay for you. I need you to let me know that. And if I said to you, I said, client, you're disrespectful. You get to check in with yourself and you could say, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. And then you can turn to me and say, Steph, I didn't mean that disrespectfully. I just really didn't like the sucker. And so what we've done is we've given him permission to have autonomy with what actually goes in his body. We've deprioritized politeness. His job is not to eat a sucker because it's polite to me. I gave it to him, therefore he has to eat it. That's not the message I want him to walk around with. I want him to be able to say, nope, I don't want this. I'd rather not have it. And then if I'm somehow offended by it, he has the language to say, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I just really didn't like that sucker. And it's such a minor thing, but if I in that moment chose to prioritize politeness and be like, what a little jerk, I gave him a sucker and he's going to sit there and just be, ungrateful for it. What I've just done is I've told this person that they have to prioritize my comfort, my ego, my whatever is more important than them having a say of what goes into their body. And then furthermore, the conversation went a touch further when I said, did you mean to be disrespectful? And he said, no. I said, okay, then it's okay to say those things. Now, if it comes across as disrespectful, we're going to want to say to someone, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. We're going to want to explain ourselves. We might need to explain ourselves, but it's something that he needs to be equipped with. What are his options? What are his rights? What are his responsibilities? And at 10 years old, he's literally trying to learn the world around him. And so my gift to him, but my job with him is to help teach him about the world around him. Don't be rude, but you're allowed to say you're not going to put things in your body. And if someone's offended, you're allowed to apologize if you're saying it in any sort of unkind way. That's kind of a real life anecdote that he gets to now walk away a little bit more oriented towards ways to navigate situations, instead of him being like, well, I don't like this sucker. And I'm like, you ungrateful little brat, right? He wasn't ungrateful. He was having a response to something gross. And we went through the motions of, how do I get out of this? How do I dispose of this and not make waves and still be polite and still, show up kind and show up in a respectful way? So life moments are all around us with kids. When kids are, showing distress or discomfort, let's equip them with language to get in and out of situations well. Let's equip them with knowing what their rights are. Let's equip them with knowing what their responsibilities are. And let's not prioritize politeness.